I call the meeting to order. This is a special board meeting of the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees. This meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. We do have a quorum as all members are present. At this time, we'll proceed with the canvass of trustee election returns and approve order declaring results of trustee election. Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. McShann. Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item number 3 is the official canvassing of the trustee election. The board is required to canvass the election returns. This is accomplished by the board president reading the numbers of the votes received by each candidate out loud. The board is required to approve the order declaring the results. You should have the summary of precinct returns in your packet.
Thank you, Mr. Cavazos. We have the summary of precinct returns. The undersigned, the presiding officer of the canvassing authority for the trustee election held on the 5th day of May, 2018 in Harlingen, Texas, do hereby certify that the following is a total of all votes received by each candidate as shown by the precinct returns. Place 4, name of candidate, Bobby Muniz, 2,155 votes. Place 5, Nolan Pettis, 2,107 votes. Place 6, Santiago Jimmy Villanueva, 987 votes. Belinda Reininger, 1,514 votes. Debbie Flores, 290 votes. Dated this 14th day of May, 2018, George McShann presiding.
Does he have to read the precincts or not?
No, not the
Okay.
precincts.
Just need a motion.
Motion is fine.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the order declaring the results of the trustees' election.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Powers, second by Mr. De Leon. Is there a discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Now, at this time, we move to the issuance of certificates of election. The presenter is Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. McShann. Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item number 4 is the issuance of the certificates of elections for the newly elected trustees. The board will present these certificates to the elected trustees if they can come to the podium to be presented. So,
George? Yeah. Okay.
Authority of Harlingen CRC, the state of Texas, is certified that the general election held on May 5th, 2018, Bobby Muniz was duly elected as trustee for the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District. Testimony whereof I have signed my name and the cause, seal of Harlingen, Texas, to be affirmed this day, 14th day of May, 2018. And, yes. Now we will have the Honorable State District Judge David. And so.
Does he need to say it on the mic so they can hear it at home?
Sure.
Dust.
There you go.
I, Bobby Muniz, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the trustee for Harlingen ISD in the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability protect,
preserve,
preserve,
and defend
and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States
the state.
and this state.
So help me.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Certificate of election in the name and by the authority of Harlingen CISD, the state of Texas. This is to certify that at a general election held on May 5th, 2018, Belinda Reininger was duly elected as for the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District, and testimony whereof I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of Harlingen, Texas to be affixed this, the 14th day of May, 2018. Signed, George McShann, President. Dr. Reininger.
I, Belinda Reiniger, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee for the Harlingen CISD of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, of this state, so help me God. Thank you.
Certificate of election in the name and by the authority of Harlingen CISD, the state of Texas. This is to certify that at a general election held on May 5th, 2018, Nolan Pettis was duly elected as for the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District, and testimony whereof I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of Harlingen, Texas to be affixed this, the 14th day of May, 2018. Signed, President George McShann. Honorable District Judge David Johnson.
We put on camera.
I know you can't see him, but he really is here.
All right, so here's the deal. When my compadre here, Dr. Nolan Perez, asked me to swear him in, I said I'd be honored and delighted, of course. Not only am I judge of the 444th State District Court in Cameron County, but I'm also judge of the Cameron County Veterans Court. And so when I walked in earlier, a friend of mine, Gene McCullough, who's a practicing lawyer, saw the camouflage robe and said, "Hey, camouflage?" Because most of the time, the regular bar and community does not see me wearing this robe. This robe was made, it was a gift that was given to me so that I could wear when I preside over my Veterans Court, which is in the afternoons a couple of times a month. So very few people get to see me wear this. I do wear it when I come out to jury duty and present to the jurors exactly what Veterans Court's all about and recognize veterans. So I thought it was fitting that since Dr. Nolan Perez also happens to be a veteran and served our country, that I'd wear the Veterans Court robe to swear him in. In fact, this is the first time I ever wear it to swear anybody in, so it's a first for us, all right? So.
Yes, sir. I,
solemnly swear that
I, Nolan Bettis,
Sorry,
That's
it's
okay.
just two-part.
that's fine,
Or
that's
was it
fine.
Javier?
He's recording, too.
No.
I, Dr. Nolan Bettis, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee for Harlingen CISD for the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and this state, so help me God, and hook 'em horn.
So if I could just take a quick point of privilege, I'm gonna need y'all to sign in front of me real quick with Ms. Brown, but I would like to just commend all of you, newly elected board members and current members, for doing this job, because we, the community, not only put you in charge of our tax dollars that we pay, but most importantly, of the children that come from our home, that we give you the ultimate duty of making sure that you are able to oversee not only an adequate an education, but really solid and really impactful foundation for their future. And really, the education here in Harlingen is second to none. I'm always proud that I'm in the Harlingen School District, and my kids are going to graduate out of here one day. So thank y'all so much for doing the job that y'all do on a daily basis. Thank you.
And good job. Is he crying?
Yes, I love these moments.
Well, I don't know. Shane, are you doing family pictures?
You gonna do family? Yeah,
He's
once
gonna
he
do
does.
family pictures, and
Once
then-
he does,
yeah,
then
and then
I'm
you
gonna-
welcome her up.
Yeah. And they can bring their families up later
Yeah.
and take pictures. See what you guys have.
During the
Oh,
break.
You don't have nothing.
No, we have executive session.
Yeah, but it's, yeah, you don't have, that's right. Just teachers.
Just teachers.
And before we get the family, can we get the rest of the trustees and Dr. Cavazos to come down for a quick photo?
You like the ones with peanuts or no peanuts?
But she's, I've got a whole, she's stuffed mine.
Okay.
I don't need them anymore. I gotta quit eating chocolate.
Chocolate's supposed to be healthy. For the brain?
You know, remember they came out and said milk was bad for you
Yeah.
at one time?
They said eggs was bad, now they're saying eggs are good.
And coffee was bad for you, and coffee was good for you.
Yeah.
They put all the signs for the Abbeys to show up, you know?
Yes, take a picture. Family.
Just kidding.
My compadre, take a picture.
It's okay.
With the Longhorn signs, go do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go get it.
One more picture of my compadre.
But for the Aggies in the house, he's gonna do
Here
a
you go,
Longhorn.
here you go.
No, except Frank. I know. But there's a lot of Aggies.
Well, should we, where's Dr. Reiniger?
Yes.
She should be up here somewhere.
Yes,
Oh, we're gonna, okay, next.
yes,
okay.
at this point, we, before we have reorganization of the board, it's my high honor to invite to the dais Dr. Belinda Reiniger, who was duly elected in place 6 for the Harlingen CIC Board of Trustees. Will you please come join the board? And now, I exit my position as Board of Trustee for Harlingen CISD and bring the Vice President, Mr. Javier De Leon. Please be seated, and thank you all so very much.
Before we go on the reorganization of the board, is there any words that any of the board members would like to say to our new fellow board member sitting next to us?
Yes, I'd like to say
Jerry's
welcome,
gonna
I'd
go
like to
first.
say bienvenidos, I'd like to say bienvenue. We're absolutely thrilled, Belinda, we're thrilled, and we so look forward to your time on the board, to your vision, to your wisdom, to the experience that you bring, to the fact that you are so exceedingly thoughtful in your manner, and we appreciate that, and we know that you are just going to join with this board in all of the excellence that Art has led us to so far, but you are going to take us so much further, and we can't wait. We're very excited.
Mr. President, I'll just add if I can, although it's tough to add to Mrs. Fleury, the most eloquent person by a long shot in this board, that we're just very excited. It's not easy to follow someone like Mr. McShann, and so this is a daunting task, but I've always said that Harlingen's an exceptional community, and great communities always come together to support public schools. And yet again, an amazing member of the community stepped forward to sort of take on the daunting task. Being a physician, it's difficult, right? Being any one of the professionals up here, it's difficult to serve. But being a college professor, someone that works, has many roles, many hats for the School of Public Health, UT Health Science Center Houston, UT RGV, and wears many different roles, for her to come forward and say, you know what, I'll be vulnerable and I'll serve, right? In a volunteer position, it's not easy, right? It's not easy. When I travel around, people sometimes they look at me and say, they said, say that again, you're on the school board? And I said, yeah. They're like, well, why the heck would you want to do that? And they said, I've been called things from clay pigeon to other kinds of, and so, but we know in Harlingen what it means to support our public schools and how important it is to have the best and most excellent public schools for every one of our kids in this community. And so it just gives me great pleasure to have someone of her stature and of her caliber and of her thoughtfulness, of her abilities, and to be on this board. And it gives me great pride because, again, we're losing a legend, a giant in public education on this board. And I just told McShannon my last words to him as he walked off. I said, "Don't go far. We need you, and we'll keep picking his brain and keep using him, his knowledge and his Rolodex, and his ideas." But it's nice and it's comforting to have someone of the stature of Dr. Belinda Reininger to sit in your seat. Mr. McShannon. So it's just very comforting that we have yet again a stable board, and she's going to be value add from day one, I know. So honored to sit alongside you, my friend, and thank you for taking on this daunting task. But it's going to be a lot of fun. But welcome aboard, and we're glad to have you. And if I could just say one last, I think my compadre may have to leave, but Judge, thank you for being here. I know you have a lot of things going on, and but it's your job isn't easy as well. You serve a little bit larger area than we do as a trustee. You serve the whole state of Texas as a state district judge, and I know it's not easy doing what you do, but thank you for your service. And it's not lost on us, the things you do in small and big ways for families, because you do a lot of, you run basically your 80% of what you do is family court business. And so that's not easy as well. And a lot of judges shy away from that, but you do that so exceptionally well and with such grace and integrity. In addition to that, you went out of your way to give yourself another job and make a veterans court. What an amazing concept to help veterans get back and to get in the community and get on the right track, so to speak, and becoming productive citizens again. So thank you for doing that. Thanks for your support of veterans, and again, thank you for all the work you do for the community. Thanks for being here. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just want to, before he walks out, thank you, Judge, for coming up here, over here on this side. I wanted to thank Belinda and congratulate her, Nolan, Bobby, for their re-election. It takes a lot to serve, and I wanted to make sure Judge Sanchez heard too, because he's got a recital to go to. So we have to sacrifice a lot of things. He can go. I mean, I'm going to point that out. He has a recital to go to for his little girl. Your kids are here. And what are their names? Kenneth, Corinne, and Kennedy. I want to thank you guys because you guys have a lot to do with your mom serving. And you guys are going to have a lot to do with your mom serving as far as some of the sacrifices are going to be made. It takes a lot to be a public servant. It takes a lot of effort, not just from the individual, but from the families. I got some family here who were alongside with me when I campaigned and when I got elected a couple of years ago, Lyle and Selena. And I'm not crying, I got fogged up here. But that's the point I wanted to make, that it takes more than just the individual to serve. Amy's here, Bobby's wife, Nolan's family's not here, but they're here in spirit. They're very supportive of what Nolan does. Nolan's like in every board possible in the state. So they know what that sacrifice is. So I just wanted to thank you all for your sacrifice. Everybody here, especially you three that just got sworn in. I'd also like to, even though they're not here, thank Debbie Flores and Santiago Villanueva for running. You know, it takes a lot to put yourself out there as a candidate. I was able to have deep, insightful conversations with both of them, or with all three of y'all, but with those two other candidates as well. And I'd like to thank them too for running and for putting themselves out there in the public eye to run a campaign. Belinda, I think we're all excited to have you on board. We're all looking forward to what you bring. 2 years ago, I walked in here not knowing what I brought to the board, and some days I still don't know what I bring to the board. But I bring something. We all bring something. We all bring different insight. We all bring different perspectives. So I'm very excited to have you on this board. We're all very excited to have you on this board. You add a little bit more, I guess, finesse now that we have 2 women on the board, not a bunch of guys just being guys.
We're a lot prettier now.
I think. So congratulations again, and I'm looking forward to it. And to all of her team that helped her get elected, it's a lot of work. So I want to thank you guys. You guys are here. I want to thank you guys for that, because as much as, like I said, it's not just the individual, it's the team, it's the family, it's the supporters, it's those friends of you that believe in you, that you can do the job, that you can win an election. So those of you that are here, congratulations, and thank you for serving. Finally, I didn't say I was going to keep it short, but finally, I could not stop without publicly thanking George McShann back there. I know he doesn't want the attention, but I was in here for his big reception. I had to work. I was out of town, but I just want to publicly thank him again, George, for everything you've done for this school district and for me and for our family. You know, you've been a role model. You've been an inspiration to the whole community. Everybody knows you. So, and everybody's thankful for your work. So thank you again.
Powers?
I just want, I'm really excited, Belinda, about you joining our group here. I think it's terrific. I can tell you that from my perspective, when somebody who's doesn't have a background in education as far as being a teacher, an administrator or something, it takes some time to learn the way a school district really works. I mean, you think you know, but when you get on the board, there's so many things, regulations, rules, just the way things work that you learn. And it took me some time to learn. In fact, I'm still learning. But I can tell you, I'm really excited because I went to one of your debates. I was amazed at what you know about education. I know you're involved in education, but you're so far ahead of most people who are entry level. I mean, you really have a great knowledge and great ideas, and I think you're going to be a terrific addition to this board. I also want to congratulate you on running what I thought was an extremely professional race, and also to Ms. Flores and Santiago Villanueva. It was, in today's times, we don't see things get pretty contentious, to say the least. And you all ran a very, very professional campaign, and I want to congratulate you on that.
Dr. Muniz?
Mr. President, I just want to thank George McShann personally also for his service. You know, a couple stories really quick. This won't take long. But, you know, there's always this confidence when we walk into the boardroom and George is there, because of the fact that, without a doubt, he has served so many years, that he has such wonderful depth of experience. And not only that, but his energy and willingness to be part of that problem and have solutions is amazing. So we're going to miss that. And there's no shoes that can fill that, and we're not going to try to fill them. I thank you for that, and thank you for teaching me all those things. But the very first time that I went to one of my first school board meeting, I was with my wife, Amy, and I'll never forget this. We were out after one of the school board, actually it wasn't a meeting, it was in San Antonio at a conference, and George was with us. It was the 3 of us. And he went out of his way to make sure Amy was so comfortable. We got into a taxi, and it was a small taxi, and he crawled to the back. He insisted crawling in the back so that she could sit up front, or actually so that I could sit up front with her. I insisted, no, I'll sit back. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But that's the type of man this is, you know. So that's the type of man that's leaving here. That's the legacy you've left with us, and we thank you for that. Belinda, thank you for being part of this program. This is extremely exciting time right now. And you're going to see it. It's fast. It's like a whirlwind, and there's so much to learn. But the wonderful thing that Nolan introduced me to was the fact that we are somewhat of a familia, you know. Nolan and every single one of us will reach out to you. We'll grab you by the hand and we'll say, hey, here's what we need to do. We're going to surround you. You're going to see it very fast that we're going to take care of you. So don't be scared at all. This team here is an amazing team, and it's an amazing time to be on the school board. So thank you for being here. Great job.
Well, you know, going last, you don't know what to say because everybody said everything. And then But I will tell you, when a board member says real quickly, that's not real quickly. But real quickly, you know, kind of echoing what Greg says, we were at the debate and Belinda and Santiago were out there debating and articulating their points extremely well. And Greg kept leaning to me and said, "Did you hear this? Did you hear what they?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna never hear anything if you keep coming over to you. Let me hear what Belinda and Santiago said." But I will tell you, the moment that you started, it's roasting Greg Powers. But the moment we started hearing the passion that you had, the insightfulness and just the vision of how you could help our the school and the community and the kids, you know, that brought a tingle to every single one of us. We were really excited. To sit next to you is going to be an honor and privilege. I think it's going to elevate the board even to a higher level. So, you know, no pressure.
No pressure.
But welcome on board. It's we now have 2 queens. And I'll let someone else say, see, Queen 1 and Queen 2, but that's but we're, you know, now I'm excited about how we're going to be moving forward. But like everybody else, George McShan, it's going to take every single one of us 7 to try to fill the shoes of George McShan. But you know, we're going to do the best that we possibly can. And if everybody knows George McShan like we do, he's going to be calling us every day. Hey, you need to work on this. You need to do this. You're moving a little to the left, to the right. So, congratulations, Belinda and George. Thank you for always being there for us, being the wings that we've always needed.
Mr. President and board members, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I am truly honored to be sitting here. I'm a little nervous, and Mr. McShan's watching me be nervous, so that makes it even worse. Thank you to Mr. McShan for the precedent that you've set, for the vision that you have given us to pursue, and just for being an incredible statesman. I remember recently I was at a city council meeting, and you weren't planning to give any kind of speech, and you were there with a group receiving an award, and then you proceeded to give a history and a full-on wonderful statesman-like speech, and I was completely awed. And I thought, oh my goodness, who else could do that? So thank you for everything that you've done for our community. And I did want to just say thank you to all of you who are out there. My children are here, and my mother and father and my mother-in-law, and I know my husband's working hard trying to get here, but it works as well. So, and all of the folks who are here who just supported and networked and support, you know, really gave of yourself in a time that was very busy, and I truly appreciate that. So I'm so excited to be working with everyone up here and get to know everyone, and I really do want to thank Mr. McShan for everything you've done. Thank you.
So on behalf of the 22,000 individuals that walk through our doors every day when we open our schools, I want to welcome Dr. Reiniger and, of course, Bobby and Nolan back to the dais. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but our best days are ahead of us. I want to thank Mr. McShan for all his work. I said at his reception that I don't know a Harlingen without Mr. McShan. I got here 17 years ago, and he was here. And so thank you, Mr. McShan, for all that you did for the school district and for the students of our school district, and of course at the state level and national level. We're not built on one person. We have a lot of leaders, and our job is to create more leaders, not more followers. And so I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to be in great shape. Thank you for what you did, Mr. McShan. You've left us in great shape, and I know that you're still a member of this community, and we highly respect that. Dr. Reiniger, welcome aboard. Dr. Perez and Dr. Muniz, they were going to ask for a recount. I said, nobody ran against you all? What? But they wanted more votes than each other. So you'll get to learn that, Dr. Reiniger. So thank you, guys. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
Next, we're gonna do the reorganization of the board
Mr. President?
for president
you
of
wanna-
the Harlingen School Board. Mr.
Well, thank you, Mr. Leon, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item number 6 is the reorganization of the board. The board is familiar with the process. First, we elect the new president, then the new president takes over the meeting, then a new vice president is selected, then the new secretary.
So, Mr. President, I'd like to move that we elect Javier De Leon as president.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a second, motion by Dr. Muniz and a second by Eladio. Any discussion? I have some discussion. I want to thank the nominee. I want to thank Dr. Muniz and Eladio for nominating me for the presidency for the school board. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to accept the position, and I just kind of wanted to give a little explanation why. I work at TSCC, and this upcoming next year is legislative session, and I'm going to be housed in Austin a lot during the session. Probably about 75% of my job is working over at the Capitol and in Austin, and so it wouldn't be fair, as humbled as I am from the board nominating me for president of the school board. I don't think it would be fair for me to accept it, knowing that I would be in Austin almost 70% of the time this upcoming year. So unfortunately and regretfully, I'd have to decline on that nomination. So if maybe we can retract that and then maybe do another motion.
Another nomination.
So let me,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll move that nominate Greg Powers to be the president of the school board.
there's a motion on the floor by Dr. Bettis for presidency, Greg Powers. Is there a second?
I'll
Second
the
motion.
Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead. No.
There's a second by Jerry. Two of you all didn't fight over me when I was doing it. I regress. I'm sorry. Second by Jerry Fleurier. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. President of the school. Yeah.
He says
I
nay
hear
himself. Get up.
President of the school board for this upcoming year is going to be Greg Powers.
There was one nay, yes.
It passes by majority.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The next item is to select a vice president.
Mr.
Do I have any
President,
nominations?
Mr. President, I'd like to move that we elect Dr. Nolan Pettis as vice president.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Muniz and seconded by Mr. De Leon that we nominate Dr. Nolan Pettis as vice president. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations, Dr. Pettis.
Thank you.
The next item is the selection of a secretary. Do I have any nominations?
Mr. President, I make a motion to nominate Eladio as secretary of the Harlingen School Board.
Second the motion.
All right, it's been moved by Javier De Leon and seconded by Mrs. Fleurier that Eladio Jaimes be the secretary of the board. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Mr. President, we'll change all the names on the dais during the executive session. We'll take care of that.
The next item of business is Mr. Julio Cavazos and the appointment of a board member to sign checks.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Since we have a new president, we need to get new signature plates. We're asking the board to allow us to use the old ones until we get the new ones. It take about 2 weeks. Recommend approval.
Do I have a motion?
So move as,
Recommended by staff.
move as recommended by staff. So moved.
Second.
All right. Moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Dr. Muniz. Is there any further discussion?
Just want to make sure that Mr. McShann doesn't charge us for those signatures during those 2 weeks. Is that? That's right?
We'll make sure that's right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. The next item on our agenda is the adjournment into closed or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meetings Act, for the following purposes. Number one, discuss the employment of teachers and other professional staff. And at this point, that's the only item we have, so we will adjourn into closed session.
And you want to do a picture?
We are back in session, and the first item is to discuss and consider the employment of teachers and other professional staff. Do we have any motions?
Yes, I have a motion to approve the employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended in executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Reiniger moves, and Mr. Eladio Jaimes seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. If there's no further business, we stand adjourned.
Yay.